Wacky Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Unfiltered. The real deal. No pre-planning. No chingaderas. Straight up from the bill.
Wacky Wednesday.
B-Town's very own.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Here's your host, Bumper Gomez.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. Yo, look, Steve, I'm already giving you props, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. Thanks you for tuning in. Tonight, after the crazy week that we've had here in South Texas, to say the least, was just crazy. We went literally from, I think it was like, we went from like 9 degrees to almost 80 degrees today within a span of less than 7 days. And it was just, it was crazy here for my viewers that are watching from anywhere else. I'm sure the people up north, you guys get it all the time and you're used to it, but we don't have the stuff. We don't have the means to to take care of excessive snow and things like that, and then being less than 30 degrees, like that doesn't happen around here. So our pipes paid for it, man. They paid a big price for it. I know I've been following people on Facebook and Instagram and all over social media, man, and it's just not amazing, because that's not the word I want to use, but it's crazy to see the amount of damage that water can do to people's homes over the temperature, with the temperature getting below the freezing point. So I said, you know what? Steve here, I've known him for going on 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, like 7 years I've known Steve. And what better time than to bring a guy that I know personally to talk about something that we don't really like to talk about, and that's insurance. But along with that, though, Steve has a great story, right? And going along with Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, any of my guests, it's all about them. It's all about where they come from, what they do, and why they do the things they do. Those of you that are tuning in that are really big on music and stuff, hey, I got more of that coming. It's coming down the road, but Bumper's Wacky Wednesday is anything and everybody. So thank you guys, those of y'all that are tuning in. I really appreciate it. And like I said, tonight's gonna be very informative, Wacky Wednesday, dude. It's informal, right? But it's gonna be informative as far as information. If any of my viewers have ever been to any of my parties here at the house, you definitely know Steve. Steve's at all my parties. He's here, even if it's just my family. He's gonna show up, and he'll be here, especially if we're gonna have like caldo de mariscos, menudo, pozole. Steve's here, and he takes a bowl home, and sometimes he comes and gets a bowl, takes it home, and comes back and eats with us.
Gotta take one home to the wife.
So yeah, man. So shout out to everybody watching again. Tonight's gonna be very informative. Very just, who knows? You might learn something that you didn't know, right? So without further ado, my guest tonight is not only my friend for the last 7 years. He's like a brother to me. He's actually lives in my neighborhood. He's a great neighbor. He welcomed us to this neighborhood with open arms. And I've got to see him. When we talk about a story, I kind of seen him in a little bit of his path. So I can't wait to talk about that. But again, without further ado, Mr. Steve Gonzales with Farmers Insurance. Welcome, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Bumper. It's a pleasure. It's awesome to be here. I remember the first one, and I was here for the first one. And I was like, man, this is awesome. This is going to be so cool. And it kept going and going and going. I was like, oh man, it's going. It's awesome. So I'm proud of you for what you've done with your venture that you got going on here, and the people you've been able to bring in. And I try not to miss them. I try to at least get that beginning, and then I'll try to watch some of it,
whenever you can.
Yeah, whenever I can get on it. But I remember the first ones. They were wild. They were wild and wacky.
Where the name Wacky comes from. And you know what's funny is that if you go to my YouTube channel, right, you won't. I don't think I've ever posted like the very
first
like 1 through 4 is not posted. I probably won't do it either because those are longer than 2 hours too.
They'll see me and they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna call that guy. That guy, he's a wild one.
But now, Steve, thank you, dude, and welcome to the show. And you are somebody who's seen the show grow from its very beginning stages of sitting around my island. With my phone on a bookcase or on something, just to, right.
Yeah, I remember the plane. The plane. And,
it's sponsored by. We bring it by.
And then of course I'd have to come with my farmers and say, sponsored by Farmers.
Farmers Insurance. There you go.
T-Mobile. Yeah, the T-Mobile shirt.
My T-Mobile days, man. See, I've been on here for a while, man.
I think it's going on a year.
It's going on a year. Yeah, bro, it's going on a year. So he walks in today. He walks in and he comes in my house like at least once a week. He comes in and he sees the lights on. He's like, "Yo, this is like a TV, like a TV room." I said, "What did you expect?" Well, he, like I said, he saw it from the beginning stages to where it's going, and we're not done. Me and my wife are talking. We're gonna do some more stuff here, and maybe make it even bigger. We got some huge people coming in.
Yeah.
Again, my love though is people like yourself. My love of interviewing people is just everyday people. You just so happen to have a profession that I think people need to know about, right? Really, people need to see what's out there, and we don't know what's out there. But Steve, you're not from San Antonio, right?
No, I'm from. They say West Texas, but it's really Northwest Texas, right? Because it's over by Lubbock, Amarillo.
Where it smells like oil in the air all the time.
Where it smells like manure. If you go up to the 70 miles north, you hit Amarillo, you smell manure every day.
That's what it smells like.
Right, and then you come south, you go a little past Lubbock, then it's gonna smell like oil.
I got you.
It's strong. You can't miss it. But
I got you.
When I go over there, when I think about I was living over there, I was like, man, I smell money.
Yeah, that's what money smells like. I'm sure that's what money smells like.
Yeah.
Hey Steve, so you've been what made you move from West Texas here to South Texas?
So
or Central Texas, I don't know what you would call.
So it was a relocation with the company I was working for. I worked for another company, and they closed that branch down. And they said, well, you can relocate to San Antonio. And I've always wanted to come live out down here, South Texas. So, it took the time to think about it, and me and Monica prayed about it, and we decided to both take a chance. And,
what year was that?
This was 2011 or 2011, 12.
Oh man, so you were right before we moved. So
right,
you were fresh in the neighborhood.
Maybe 6 months or so
when we moved in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I think, like when I met you, like when you first started talking, I was like, no, hold up. This dude, he's got because being in the military, man, you can really tell by where people are from, by their accents. And, some people will say, y'all sound the same. No, we don't. There's some words that West Texans kind of use, I think West Texans, and shout out to them. I got some friends from West Texas, and I'm sure they're watching right now. They got a little more, to me, they got more Western country twang to themselves, a little bit more than people down here in South Texas. I think down here in South Texas, even if they don't speak Spanish, I think our English is still, it sounds like we do, for some people who really don't, but they just have that accent. But Steve, so you moved down here, to South Texas, bro. Started off, you didn't have no family down here?
No, didn't have no family, nobody. So, but Monica, my wife, she had some cousins and some friends that she could that could help us get transitioned and so yeah, I didn't have no family, but they came right along right at not long after that they came and followed me down here. My mom came and my brother came and my sister came probably maybe a year later.
And I know all his families. Like when he says, "My sister came," I've known everybody. Rest in peace to your beautiful mother. We got to know her very well, and just your whole family, bro. Everybody in your family is the aquea, right? In Spanish, it's like everybody's like cool as hell, right? And the plus of having a good neighbor, Steve is the only guy in our neighborhood with the swimming pool. Right, so you always got to make friends with the guy with the swimming pool, right? Because down here in South Texas, it gets pretty hot. Yeah. So we can always go. Excuse me. We can always go and take a dip in Steve's pool, right. And he's got a hot tub too. Right. But right. Steve he hides the hot tub. It's kind of hidden in the corner. It's for VIP only. VIP only. But Steve, so. When you came here to San Antonio, bro, you came with. Were you already doing insurance?
Yeah, I was already doing.
Insurance. So since you went to school, when you got out of school, you've been in the insurance business
since I was 22. So this has been about 02. 02 I started in the insurance business. I worked for a corporation, so I worked for a big company, and I helped people all over the country. From California to New York to Florida to Oklahoma. I mean, there's no state that I didn't talk to somebody and get to know somebody in, and build relationships and bonds with and help them.
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean you have to know that there's people out there. Make sure my thing is on here. I remember you saying that when you used to do that, like you'd have to be sanctioned in each state. Like you'd have to be you'd have to know the rules or regulations. And is there like a test you got to pass for each state, or is there like one that you take and it covers a whole bunch of?
I don't know. As long as you got your license in your resident state, then that applies. You can apply for licenses in any other state.
Okay, got you. Steve, so you grew up in West Texas, bro. West Texas. How was life growing up? Like, what was life growing up for you down in? Because when I picture, because I'll tell you this, I've only been through West Texas. And I have lifelong friends that are from West Texas, and those that if you don't really know how big Texas is, this is how big it is, right? I mean, it's totally different. Like every part of Texas has its own. It's like its own state, right? Its own country, and I've never really stayed in West Texas long enough to really. I'm just going off what people have told me. And when people pass by, they're like, "Man, you can smell like the oil in the air, like it's everywhere." And that's kind of what sticks in my head, right? So growing up for you, bro, I mean, you grew up in the country, or you grew up in the city?
It felt. I mean, in West Texas, it feels like country. Like everywhere you go, there's small towns everywhere, and the towns are spread out.
Far away from each other. Yeah.
Before you get to another town, you're out in the middle of nowhere for 10, 15 minutes before you get to another little small town. And you're right. Where I grew up was right in between Lubbock and Amarillo. So the little town I grew up in was a population of 2,000. Actually, I went to high school in a population of 2,000. There was another little.
So that was like a 2A school?
It was a 2A, but we still played 11 man.
He's got to throw that out there. We didn't play 6-man football. We played 11-man football. This is Texas, baby. We played 11-man football.
Yeah, played 11-man football. But when you're a freshman, you're probably on the varsity usually, or a sophomore. There weren't enough. Sometimes there weren't enough players to be, have two teams.
So you played both ways, special teams, everything, right? That's crazy. Everything. That's small town America right there, man, for sure. Steve, and you grew up like your household. I mean, you grew up mom and dad, everybody, or did you split household? How'd you grow up?
No, we had my mom and dad. They were working. They worked hard. Put it on the table. Luckily, we were I wouldn't say poor, but we weren't middle class. We were kind of in that
You're between middle class and poor.
There you go. There you go. So we can get buy things.
That means you know some kids that are poorer than you, but you know damn well you didn't have no money.
Yeah, I mean we still had food, and that's what So there was some times when, there was struggles, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I hear you, man. I want to get the viewers to kind of get a little bit about who Steve Gonzales is, right? Because the way I picture it, when I call somebody in an insurance, right, you don't know who the hell you're talking to,
no, not at all.
right? You don't know the person behind the phone. You're just like, hey, man, I need a quote for this car. I'm gonna add my teenager. I know it's gonna be out. The price is gonna be through the roof. Cut me a deal, whatever the case may be. But most of the time, I think when you talk to these big companies, and not that Farmers Insurance is not a big company, but you don't really know personally who you're talking to on the other side of the phone. And I think that's what makes your organization a little different than other organizations, right? You're in the community, you help the community, you're always doing stuff in the community, and you get to build that relationship with people where, hey, I know the guy that I take my check to and he cashes it every day or once a week. Now I'm going to know the guy who insures my vehicles, insures my homes, insures stuff like that. So again, that's kind of really why I want to talk about who you are, bro, what you like to do, stuff like that. Because if somebody's watching, and we are going to talk about insurance and stuff like that. It's like I said on your pre-post, I really want our viewers to get a sense of, again, what's out there and maybe what you're missing, right? But I want you to know who Steve is. So when you do call him, Steve, right? You know who the hell Steve is. Steve, so you grew up in West Texas. You're married, right? I heard you say you're beautiful wife.
21 years.
21 years, bro.
Years. And the only reason I know that is because we married in 2000, right?
So that's easy.
That's the only, or else you tell me.
Oh,
I'd be like,
man.
I don't know. But that's. I probably shouldn't have said that. It's probably gonna hear
That's hilarious, bro. I'm glad that we're doing the show, because me and you have talked about you coming on here, but he's a busy dude, and one thing that I admire about you, Steve, is that I'll put it to you like this: you, and this is an adult show, right? So sometimes I cuss, and bear with me. Steve he has done shit in this world that I would not. There's no way I'd roll the dice. Like, I'd be like, nah, I can't take that chance, right? But as being from the outside looking in, seeing you grow, bro, from when you were working for that other company, right? And you're in cubicle heaven, and you're one of those guys on the other side of the phone, right? Trying to cut these deals. But to see you say, you know what? Charlie, I'm done with that. I'm going to do something for myself, for my family. And you put all your eggs in one basket, bro. And when that basket was getting really, really light, I could see you. I could see you outside pacing back and forth. I could see your demeanor was changing. And it was just to see you grow, to see how your business is growing. That's what I love. I love that, bro. I love to be able to call you, and now you're like, hey, what you need, bro? Like, at first it was like, bro, we got to get, do you know anybody who needs this? You know anybody who needs that? And now it's like, hey, let me know if you need something. So that tells me that he's doing really, 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 really well. Steve, you're married, and you have how many children? How many children
we
do you
have?
have?
3 children. We have, Isaac, Ivan, and Isla, 20 or 19, 17, and
Triple I's?
Triple I's.
That's awesome.
It came from my dad. His name was Ike. So
wait, time out, bro. Your dad's name was Ike?
Well, his name was Isaac, but they called him Ike.
Ike. Okay, I was gonna say, whoa, man. I play with softball with a guy named Isaac, and we call him Ike. Now that I think about it, yeah.
So everybody called him Ike. I mean, nobody that I never heard any Isaac. I knew that was his name, but
everybody else called him Ike.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yo, man, I just never. I got a good buddy of mine. Not a buddy of mine. He's more of a father figure, Mr. Ike Corrigan. older gentleman. He when I hear the word Ike, that's when I picture an Ike looking like Mr. Ike. So it's just funny that you say they called your dad Ike. Steve, you, being married and with the family, like how does he when you decided to go into the insurance, like how does it work, bro? Because I mean, is it like when people sell houses, like you got to sell? If you don't sell, or people who sell cars, if you don't sell, you're not gonna eat. Is it, you know what I mean? Like, do you go to work? Do you get paid hourly? Because there could be some viewers out right now, you know, that are watching, and maybe this is something that they might find very interesting and could go into this profession, right? Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you show up and you clock in and they pay you by the hour, or do you gotta hit a quota? I'm sure every company's kind of different.
Right. So yeah, every company's different, depending on, you know, who you're selling for, who you're working for. You know, if you're working for a corporation, you're probably going to get a salary, you know, plus a little bit of commission. Right. When you own your own agency, though, you know, there's no salary. You know, there's no hourly. There's no guarantee. You know, it's help, hustle. You know, I don't like using the word sell. You know, I like using the word help. You know, helping people. I want to help people. I want to help you.
You hear the salesman? He doesn't like using the word sell. I'm helping you.
I'm going to help you. I want to help you. That's kind of my mindset. You know,
I got you.
It's always been, you know, I'm trying to help you. You know, I'm really trying to push or sell you on something that, you know, if I give you something and I can tell you compare what you got now, I will tell you the truth. You know.
Right, and that's true. Like I've gone to Steve throughout my years of knowing him in different parts, different times, and said, Steve, hey, dude, I think I'm paying too much. And he looks at my stuff and he'll say, let me see. And he'll be like, hey, you know what? Stay with that. Yeah, ain't nobody going to beat that. So, or he'll tell you, hey, man, you're getting your eyes poked. Like, you know, there's other stuff out there. Right. See, and I think that's what makes tonight so great, man, is that, you know, people are going to get to know you, and you're somebody that we can see, we can touch. He's here. He's real. He's not the guy with the red shirt and khakis. That's a different company.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
So, but yeah, Steve, what when you were started in 2002, right? You said when 2002, like, did you think that was something that you were going to do for the rest of your life?
Man, not at all. You know, I was working across the street in a little, what is it called? Mr. Gaddy's. I was working in a pizza place.
Mr. Gaddy's, like the guy over here?
Like the one over here. I was, you know, managing, you know, being a manager. And, and I was doing that, but there was like that, you know, the company I was telling you about, we're right across the street. So I said, you know what, I'm going to just go in there and see what that's all about. So I went in there and applied and got hired. And I said, well, I'll do this for a year. And then the year became 2 years, and they were helping me with my college, paying for my college, so like another year or two. And now, you know, I've stayed with them almost 18 years.
So you got a degree, and they pretty much paid for your school?
They paid for most of it.
Dude, that's freaking awesome, man. That's there's companies out there, dude. There's so many companies out there. I like maybe a month and a half ago, I had my buddy Jesse on here, and he was talking about how, and I talked to this about a couple of weeks as well, how we as parents, we really push our kids for an education, right? We push our kids like, hey, get your education. And for most Americans, like, it seems like we want our kids to be a doctor, a lawyer, like, just, you know, something that we just figure makes so much money, right? We're going to spend this much money sending you to college, get something out of it where you're going to make a lot of money. And I never thought about it until I had those guys on the show, man. And that's because I worked in the semi-construction business somewhat for 5 years after I retired from the Marine Corps. There's money to be made, dude. There's money to be made, you know, not following the traditional education. Like, if you want to go out and be a plumber, you want to be an electrician, like, learn a trade. That's kind of what he said. Like, hey, a trade you can make a very good living. I mean, just think right now, if you're a plumber anywhere in South Texas right now, just I mean, think about that. Yes, it's a once in a lifetime probably thing where you'd have, but I'm just saying, for an example, there's trades out there where you could really make a very ample amount of money, right? You can make a crap load of money, and not having an education. But you decided to do this, man. So you went from working at a pizza place to walking across the street. Now you're working for an insurance company, and we're not going to name the company just because, we're not going to give them any props. But it's a company that is known. You know what I mean? People know who they are, and the fact that they gave you the opportunity to go to school and help you pay for it, that means that it's an overall good company in a sense. But sometimes, Steve, I think, and speaking to you, I think sometimes like when you get with those companies, there's only so much you can grow.
So much. There's so much you can grow. You hit a limit and you plateau, and then you can't. It's like you can't do anything. You can move up a corporate ladder, but that's once
you're there, you're there, and they're not going to give you any more room to grow. Like, hey, bro, hold your horses right there. This is all you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're good at what you do, right? It's kind of sometimes it can be hard to move up some corporate ladders. They see you and they're like, "We like what you're doing there. You're performing. You're making us money.
Stay there.
Stay there." Because they have those. They're the ones that make that decision to promote.
That's that's an interesting way to look at it. And so for 18 years, Steve, you did the same thing. I mean, everywhere you went was whether it was over there or over here, it's cubicle heaven, huh?
In a cubicle with the thing tied like this for 8 hours,
with a headset on your ear.
Headset on my ear, talking to people all over the country, which was great because I got to know so many.
So when you talk on the phone, do you try to be personable?
Oh yeah, personal. Make it as personal as you can. Get to know them, get to know each other because you're not going to buy something from somebody you don't trust or don't know.
I think I'll tell you this. I have better customer interaction with people when I'm the customer calling the company, regardless of what it is. When people are like that, when people are like, "Yo, oh, you're in San Antonio. How you doing? Are you? Did you guys make it a ride without electric?" You know what I mean? That means that they're showing that they care, right? Mm-hmm. But dude, I don't know if I could do that every day.
It was tough. It was good. It was tough, but I had to do it.
Damn, bro, that's freaking nuts, dude. I think you like knowing you personally. I think that you have that persona though on the phone. Some people are just made to talk to people, and some people aren't, bro. Some people aren't. I think when I got into the T-Mobile business, into the cell phone business, selling cell phones and thing, bro, if you can talk, and I could talk. I could talk to anybody, and I could talk to anybody. You go with me. If you know me, if you know Bumper, you could take me to the zoo, bro, and I will have a conversation with some dude I don't know, that loves rhinoceroses or something. I could talk to anybody about anything. And for a long time, it's just me. That's just the person I am. But I also can be very like standoffish. Like if I'm not in the mood or I really, I can kind of put up my wall. And but being in the business, right, selling, being in any kind of sales, it's tough, dude. You can't put up no wall, bro. You put up a wall, you just putting up a wall to your checkbook because you ain't gonna get nothing in that mug.
Nope.
You gotta be able to talk to people and. I just think that sales is just hard overall, Steve. I really admire you for doing it for so long, bro. Because that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's sales, right? It really does sales. Have you had any in your 20 years or 18 years that you've been doing it? 19. How long have you been?
We're going on 19.
19 years. So you're 19 years. Have you ever had any like? Have you hit any difficult times where you're just like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore?
Oh man, yeah. When you're doing it for so long, there was a lot of times where I'm like, man, I got to do something different. Got to get out of this. Got to change or there was a lot of times, plenty of times
where you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get me a regular job and make some regular money and just not worry about.
But when you become in that role, that salesperson role, it's like regular money is not the same. Because the commission is unlimited. Even though you're getting a salary and you still get commission for selling. I mean, Most companies spell it. Most companies who have salespeople pay a commission.
I think I can agree with you again, and I'm relating to like when I was working for T-Mobile for those few months.
Yeah. You saw the unlimited potential,
bro. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. If you guys ever sleep on somebody who's like working at T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon or anything like that, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If those people can talk and sell, they make a crap load of money. So just remember that. People aren't nice sometimes just to be nice. They're out there hunting and trying to make their checkbooks a little bit fatter. Steve, so what did you so if you weren't going to do insurance, where would you think you would have gone?
Oh man, who knows?
Have you ever been offered another job somewhere? Where you just like, man, maybe.
No, not really.
Really.
I mean, there was a time before I got insurance. I was actually in an armored car company. I worked for an armored car company, which was fun. I loved it. I was out and about in the
You were like the security for?
Security guys. So I go into the banks, pick up the money, pick up all the money, take them to I'd actually go to the stores, the
mom and pop stores,
stores, Walmarts, HEBs. Well, over there it's called United. Go to all them stores, pick up all their money, deposits, take them to the bank. And then I mess with ATM machines. Fix the ATM machines, load them up, balance them out.
I'm not gonna mention no names, but I got a friend, bro. Mm-hmm. He worked for one of those companies for a long time, and one day he was a little tipsy, and he had a conversation with me, and I'll never forget the conversation, bro. He was like, "Yo, did you know that when you fill up an ATM, that if you're $40 or less off, there's no questions asked? It's just part of like, right? More than $40, they're gonna do an investigation. They're gonna write." Yeah. He said, "So I took $40 whenever I could." So after a while, he saved some of that money. He had a little good chunk of change, right? Again, I'm not gonna say any names, but
there was some times
he no longer works for that company. If that tells you anything.
Yeah, there was some times when my part, you work with partners.
Yeah.
Stuff comes up missing, money short, bags are missing, whatever. They have to do a lie detector test. So there was a few times where
really,
yeah. So there was a few.
See, we thought we were just talking about insurance. See this here? See how great a podcast is. We went from talking insurance to lie detector test, bro. So on this, before you could go home, you have to take a lie detector test.
I've had to take 3 or 4 of those lie detector tests. There was stuff missing, a bag missing, or
because you're not talking hundreds of dollars, you're talking thousands of dollars. So did you passed all of them?
I passed all of them. Passed them all.
Hey, but did you get nervous just for the fact that you were gonna have to take a lie detector?
I figured if I'm not nervous, then they won't detect anything, because that's how they usually will get.
Right. If you're nervous. Did you know anybody get fired from that?
Yeah, there was a few that got fired for.
Okay, look.
I don't know if they took the money because
I would take. I'll tell you this. I would take getting fired if getting fired was worth it. So if they know I took it, but they don't come get what I took, I'm okay. Like, fire me, cool. But if they come take what I took and fire me, well then we'd have an issue.
I never forget the first time I went. I just started my first month, right? And they were opening up a bank branch, and I had to take the first bag of cash to get them started. It was over like $2 million worth of cash, and I'm thinking in my head, this is like $2 million. If we take this, we'd be set. As long as but it crossed my mind for like a second. I'm like, nah, that's not okay. I'll go to prison.
I'll tell you this, Steve. I've seen some money in my life, and without going into detail, it was while I was in the military. I've seen some money in my life that I think all 4 people in the room were quiet for at least 60 seconds, if not more. Yeah. It felt like that, where we found the money and was just like, and nobody knew what to say. Nobody knew like, hey, what are we going to do? who do we call? How do we count this? What do you want us to do? It was more like just the same thing. I think we were all just looking at the money like, man, if we just all split it up, nobody's going to know. Right. Yeah. But then if you get caught, then is it worth it?
Yeah, it's not worth
so,
it.
Needless to say, we didn't take $1. But Steve, so you went from carrying guns and taking in money. So and then now you're doing freaking insurance, bro.
Yeah. I guess if I wasn't doing insurance, that probably would I'd be doing an armored car, running an armored car company, or
or something like that.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Steve, you how do you maintain like so working for like the cubicle company, right? We'll just call them the cubicle company. Yeah. And if you work in a cubicle, no, I don't mean any harm by it. I mean, people do it all the time. It's corporate America. That's what corporate America is, right? Everybody has their own little cubicle, and depending on what you do for a living. But when you were working for them, like did you ever just like go outside and be like, man, I can't do this shit no more. Like I'm not. Yeah. This is just not for me.
Yeah, there was a bunch of times. I can even remember the times, the day, the years, and the time frames, where I was at mentally and what I wanted to see in my future. There was a lot of times.
Damn, bro. I don't know. I think I'm so grateful for the Marine Corps that it was so different all the time. Sometimes it was stagnant. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like any job. It becomes like a Groundhog Day, right? Where you do the same thing every single day. But it's just being able. I hated deploying, to be real with you, but it was a difference. It was like working. You know what I mean? Everything's different. It's not the same thing every single day. So what I was telling you, what I admired the most about you, bro, is that your risk taking and you rolling the dice. You did it. You did it, and you took whatever money you had. I remember having this conversation. You're like, "Hey, man, I got some money saved up, and I'm just gonna do it." And I remember standing outside, and I was like, "What?" You're like, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go on my own. Like, I'm tired of sharing my money. I'm tired of, you know what I mean. Everybody has to share their money. What I mean by, just having your own business,
right?
Where you make your hours, right?
You make your hours.
Does farmers say, hey, you have to be open from this time, or you make your own hours?
So as long as you're open 45 hours a week, you can be open whenever you want.
45 hours a week, bro. Damn it, boy.
Of course, I work about 60, so.
Wow. I thought once you do that and you get people, you just like come home and chill out at the pool and check your laptop is that where you want to be?
That's where you want to be, but when
you got to get there. You got to get it. I got you. There's one of your customers right there. Shout out to my mom. Let's see who's been on here. My mom. Hey, bro, I don't know what good of a customer she is, because every time she needs to talk to you, she has to call me for your number. So she doesn't save your number, bro. Hey, you got to save his number, Mom.
Save it. I think she called the other day, talked to Monica, I believe.
Yeah, she did, because she called for your number. But let's see who's on here. Hey, shout out to my primo, Daniel. Mario Mario, what's up, man? Isidro, hello, bro. Abel all the way in Florida, man. Go Florida. Bucks, of course.
I called it.
You did say the Bucks are going to win, bro. Shout out to my primo Manuel, Gumarro Vasquez, all the way in La Pryor, Texas, man. Thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate it. Steve, so you decided to roll the dice.
Make it a jump.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, if you don't mind, let's talk about, you remember having the conversation with Monica?
Yeah, I do. I remember the night. She had. This is what's even scarier is that she was actually, she worked for Wells Fargo, for like 18 years. Well, she had got laid off. They laid off that department, right?
Right.
So she was laid off for a few months, and so I was walking the dogs. And I was just thinking, this could be something. This could be like something to, God telling me this is the time. This is the time to do it. And I it's like I felt it that night. So I went for my walk, and I went inside. I said, "Hey," I told Monica, "Let's just open up our own agency. Let's do it. I've made up my mind. It feels the timing is I can feel it. We have the resources, we have the capital, we have what, I have the experience. You have some experience as far as,
office work and getting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember the night, and I remember talking to her, and she was 100% on board. Man, and think about it. She wasn't working.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You didn't roll one dice. You were rolling both of them dice, and you were rocking and rolling with them dice before you threw them. Right. Yes. Your wife was unemployed. Mm-hmm. Right. You're tired of being in cubicle heaven, and you said, "Screw it, bro. We're gonna do this. Win or lose, we're gonna do it.
Win or lose, we're gonna do it, and
we're in it to win it.
We're in it to win it." And I thought about my kids, because to be able to provide and give them something,
right?
And this was, that's what you do. You open up a business and you let it carry on.
So you left that insurance people, right? And then you kind of you went on your own. And the company you're with is on a shirt, Farmers Insurance. What's the slogan for Farmers, dude?
Bump it up, bump, 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 bump.
That's it. Bump it up, bump, bump. I should have downloaded that. The bump it up, bump, 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 bump.
Seen a thing or two. Is another.
It's not this one though, right? That's not it. That's not it. But no, Steve, that's cool. You're with. So you decided to. So how does it work, bro? Do you just call up farmers and be like, "Hey, my name is Steve Gonzales. I've been in the insurance business for 18 years. I want to open up my own shop."
So what happened? That could be like that. What happened in my situation is, we had a vacation. We went on a vacation, and I was out there, and I was, thinking that I want to try this, this farmers. So I actually reached out to another agent who's a farmer. I say, "Hey, can you tell me more, about your, but what struggles, challenges?
Yeah.
Just give me some advice." Well, not even 2 or 3 days later, the actual district person, they called me, and they wanted to talk to me. So I talked to them, and we hit it off, and it took about 6-7 months, and to kind of talk to her, and I put it off.
But you're still working for the other company as you're talking to.
Company, right? And at the time, I wasn't ready because the capital wasn't there. So I told her, "You know what? Let me call you when I'm ready and I have enough and I feel good about the capital." And that was about December or so. December is when I told her that, and then the thing with the Monica situation happened around March, and then it was
adding fuel to the fire.
And so what happened? It's crazy, the timing. With the way God works.
That's right, man.
The way it works is he, of course, she got a severance, right? The severance package. She could get paid for so many months or whatever, or she could take a lump sum. That's an option. Mm-hmm. Of course, I had my package, from the other cubicle company. Mm-hmm. So we decided, okay, let's made the plan to kind of put it together, cash out the severance package. Well, what's the day that the severance hit the account, that same day the severance hit the account, and I had been thinking about all week, I was going to call, the district. Mm-hmm. They called me that same day. That same day they called me and said, "Hey, we were just calling to see if you were still interested in trying to, get your agency. We have some other programs or whatever." And I said, "You know what? That's funny you called me. I was actually going to call you today." And so, we talked that weekend.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. That's how God works, though, bro. How it works. He's pushing you. He's pushing you to the edge, helping you take that leap, man. Mm-hmm. Man, that's crazy. And Steve, so you guys consolidate your monies, and you make a business plan, of course, right? Right. What you gonna do? What made you choose Converse, bro? Like, of all the places, did you go and say, "Hey, there's per square mile, there's 4 Farmers Insurance per square mile over here, maybe over here"? Is that what you did, or you just said, "Nah, I want to do here"?
That there was not an agency there in Converse, a farmers agency there. You know, they have some other agents there, but there wasn't a farmers there. So I thought, man, this is good. This is a good market. You know, good market to kind of, you know, see what get in the community. You know, it's not that far from here. So that's kind of what Converse. Why I picked
And I thought it was pretty cool, man, because when you I went to your grand opening,
right.
and it was really awesome to see, though. Even though we live in the metropolis of San Antonio, right? You know, if you live in any city, you know that there's little towns or, you know, borderlines. Hey, this is Live Oak, this is Converse, this is Judson, this is Universal City. I'm just using ours because that's where we live. But it's all San Antonio, right? It's all within the vicinity of San Antonio, and I thought it was really, really cool that the people of Converse, all the small business owners, all showed up to the grand opening. Like the community, the people from the city council, the commissioners, and the mayor of Judson showed. I mean Converse, and then other small business owners came, and they all helped him celebrate, like welcoming him to the community. And then, you know, like if you just bought a house in the neighborhood, right? But the set of neighbors, they were all your business neighbors. Right. I thought that was really cool that the people did that. You know, they came out and they all, the mayor talked a little bit and welcomed you to his city. I thought that was very, very, very cool. That stays in my head. I wish I didn't upload the picture. Upload the picture where you guys cutting the red ribbon. But I remember that day, man. I remember that day vividly, bro. And I remember driving home being like, man, that's my boy Steve, bro. He did it. He said he was gonna do it, and he did it. And you know, again, that was the beginning. Because then, you know, a couple of weeks after that, I would see you outside, and I'd just see you, or you'd be like, Bumper, you know, anybody that needs this or needs that, and it's like, hey, man, I have to. And you know, I'm a friend, man. I'm gonna help somebody out however I can help them out. If it's just giving somebody a phone number or saying, hey man, if you need insurance, hit up my boy, right? And I want to do a little bit of that tonight, right? For the viewers and those of you that are going to watch this later on. Steve asked earlier to all his friends and family, like I'll post this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'll send you the link. You'll be able to share it. But another reason that I really brought him onto the show was we were talking before the show is our people. I think our people in South Texas, our view of insurance is, what is the cheapest thing that I can pay a month to have in my car in case I get pulled over? I can show it to the cop and I'm not going to get a ticket. I'm being realistic. Like that's how the majority of people, everyday people, see insurance. When you hear the word insurance, they think of car insurance and car insurance. Car insurance. That's it. Like the word insurance stops. With car insurance. That's it. You don't look at it any other way. I don't like to. I'm not meaning in a bad way, right? Like our people, but it's true. Our culture, that's the way we see car insurance, right? Whatever we can get for the cheapest, you know what I mean? That's how we see it. Like, just, hey, Steve, how much? Okay, bro, what if I take this off? What if I take this off? What if I take that off? Well, shit, you ain't got nothing left, right? But we're just selling you a piece of paper that's saying you're insured, right? Because you see those commercials, bro. You're paying way too much for insurance. Give us a call. We'll take care of you. We can save you $400 a year on your insurance. Or, you drive in certain parts of town. You won't see it over here. You won't see it over here we live. But if you go to other parts of town, right, you'll see $29.99. Come in and get your car insurance for $29.99 a month. $30 a month for insurance, bro. They're gonna give you a piece of paper. You put in your car. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was a young guy, when I was very young. And one of the first car insurance I have, I was that person. Like, hey, bro, I don't care what your company. Hey, what do I need to drive where the cop pulls me over? But the first accident you get into or somebody hits you, it's not your fault, and you don't have a way to work, or you don't have this, you don't have rental reimbursement, you don't have that, you don't have this. There you go, $29.99 a month, right? Or you get your car repaired and it's like all aftermarket parts, or the paint doesn't match. You can't argue because your insurance paid for it. Those are the things that you got to accept when you get that lower rate, man. And another thing that I'll say is life insurance. Bro, like life insurance, take it how you want to take it, right? Our life insurance for me growing up since I was a little kid, and this has been going on for years. It's going to go on for many more years. Our life insurance is a leg quarter. You don't know what a leg quarter? I'm talking about a leg quarter of a chicken, a leg and a thigh, some rice, some beans, some potato salad in a styrofoam plate, and you're going to sell plates. And if you do this, I'm not knocking you. Because this is what we know. This is the way we deal with hardships, right? This is how we get through it. The easiest way, let's make some plates. Everybody, the community comes together, we make some plates, we sell some plates, we come up with some money, and then we take care of our loved ones, right? Funeral expenses or any bills, right? Everybody chips in, and we kind of do one of those things, right? Because that's what we know, that's what we're used to, right? And now with the world the way it is in social media, right? Now it's not just that. Now you have GoFundMe's, right? Just hey, let's share it. GoFundMe. And hey, I just want enough to pay for a casket, a viewing, and put them into the ground. So I'm trying to raise $5,000. I'm just throwing the number out there. That's part of our culture as well.
Right.
And so I'm glad that Steve's on the show tonight, because I really want to talk about these things. These are things that I really want to slam the table on and be like, hey, we shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't be that way. And I always refer back to my wife. Sometimes it gets me mad because I'm like, God dang, she's right. But I'm the same way. Like, I didn't have life insurance on why should I have life insurance on my kids? Why should I have life insurance on myself? Right? I know in the military, they give us one, right? It's the
part of the program.
Yeah, it's part of the program. We get like $450,000 if something happens to us or whatever. Oh, okay, cool. And then I got out. I'm like, okay, I don't have it anymore. But what are you leaving your family behind? I've been involved with multiple funerals. My dad's, some of my tios, my neighbors, stuff like that. Why should we burden our family members with our death? That's the way I look at it. Right. I mean, it's bad enough we're leaving this world. Now I didn't leave anything in place to take care of these things. Now, your kids have to find a way to put you in the ground.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, when you talk to somebody, what is your spill on it? You don't have to give me your sales spill, but I mean, what's your take on what I'm saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying?
100%. I mean, life insurance is an emotional purchase. People buy it out of emotion. Some people think, well, I'm never going to die. I'm not going to die. Nothing's going to happen to me. We're
all going to die.
Yeah, that's what I say. But that's kind of like, the thought, people say, nothing's going to happen to me. I'll be good. I'm still young. I'm healthy. My kids are young and they're healthy. And the thing is, you just never know when it's your time. You never know when it's that day that it's going to be the last day and your last breath. You just don't know.
True.
And so if you don't have something, then it's going to be a burden on the people who are left.
And something's better than nothing, because I read some of the ones that my wife bought from you. Like, even if you go bare minimum, most of the bare minimums will cover at least a funeral. Oh, yeah. To say the least, right? Like, I bare minimum, they would cover a very nice funeral. So again, these are just things that we as people, I keep always saying our culture, right? But because it is raza, man, we're the worst at this. We really we're the corporate, man. We really need to look at ourselves and be better, man. Be better. And yes, sometimes it costs money. Like nothing's free in this world, right? Nothing's free in this world. But there's all kinds of different insurance. Like I overheard you when you were talking to my wife when she was purchasing some insurance from me. And I think this is like people who invest money. We seen that we think that it's so complicated that you know what, I just put my money in the bank and I'll save it. But they're giving me 0.5%. I'll say on my savings account, right? I'll make it $1, right? So I'll leave it at that. But I want to say that I think people don't invest money because they don't know how to. Where do you even go? Where do you even start? And then the fact that it's our hard-earned money, we're going to give it to somebody who's going to make it grow. But it can grow and it can go. It can go as well, right? It moves both ways. And again, we're hardworking people, bro. And sometimes I think people are really, they rather just save it and not take the risk because they work really, really hard for it, right. And they're not willing to do that, right? The reward isn't worth them losing anything, right? Because they worked for it. So that's the kind of the way I compare it to insurance to maybe investing money. When you were talking about like if you have an insurance for so many years, then you can take money back from it. Like what is that called?
So that's going to be your whole life or permanent insurance or universal. You know, those are going to be permanent for however long you live. You know, whether you live to 90, 100, 120,
right?
You know, it's permanent. So those you get cash. You know, they build cash value. They retain.
So okay, when you say cash value, that's what I'm asking you. Like break it down for me. So, you know, you just told me, hey, they lived 90 and 100. You're building cash value. What does cash value mean to the 90 or 100-year-old?
Well, what it means to the 90 or 100-year-old?
Yeah. So,
I mean, it means that they're going to be able to leave a certain amount to their grandchildren.
Right. So, because some insurances, they only go to a certain age, right? And once you get to that age, they're like, it's done. They won't insure you anymore.
No, those are normally like term policies.
Okay, got you.
So term usually a certain time. You know, you got your 10-year, your 20-year, your 30-year. So once that term runs out, then you got to get another policy, or you got to get new insurance because it's not going to cover once the term runs out.
Steve, what's your take on we'll get away from life a little bit because I want to drive that into the viewers later, but let's talk car insurance, right? Let's talk car insurance. And car insurance is very near and dear to my heart because
you have a lot of cars,
dude. I got a lot of cars, and I pay a pretty penny a month, right? And when you're talking, oh, we can save you $40, 50, I'll take the 40 or 50 or $60 for the amount that I'm paying, right? Like I'll take it as long as the limits are the same, right?
Right, coverage.
The coverage. What do you look? What's one of the first, like if a customer calls you, what's one of the first things that brings up any kind of red flags or anything like that for you? As like if I was to go sit in the office and like, hey Steve, I'm thinking about getting some car insurance or farmer's insurance. What are going to be some of the questions that if I'd answer would bring up some red flags?
I'm going to ask you, who you insured with, how long you been insured, what are your coverage limits? Now, I don't know if people know, but when you get a quote from somebody, no matter what company they usually are, they can see all your insurance history. They can
stop right there. Did you hear that? To the viewers. So just like your credit, right? When you go somewhere and apply for a credit card or you go apply for a loan or whatever the case may be, and they use the credit reporting agencies, insurance companies, they use credit reporting agencies too, but they also have their own agency, which you can't like go get an accident on here, but like, you know what? You're going to charge me more. I'm going to go somewhere else because that accident is going to follow you no matter where you go, right? It's kind of the same concept the credit reporting agency. So
Right.
I'm glad you said it because some people don't know that.
Yeah.
Some people don't know that there's an agency out there that does that. So no matter what accident you have, it's going to follow you no matter where you go.
Where you go for 3 to 5 years usually. So I look at all that. Look how long you've been with them, and I can see. We can see, every company can see who you have, how long you've been with them. So I see, if I see breaks or if I see no insurance, and I'm thinking to myself, you're probably just looking for a piece of paper. You're looking for just liability,
Right.
the cheapest thing. But when I see 100,000, 300,000, then it's more of a consultative. This is what you should have. You got good coverage. Let's match it, beat it, get you better coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's right. Just that part right there will tell whoever you're talking to, more about what kind of insurance you're looking for.
Because okay, so let me get this right. If you have a car that's being financed, any type of financing, most places are going to want full coverage, right?
Most places are going to want comprehensive and collision. Now, there's no such thing as full coverage. Nobody's fully
Whoa,
covered.
hold
Nobody's
up.
fully
No, hold up.
They say people say full coverage all the time. Now, give me full coverage. I even say it.
You see, look, I'm learning something. I'm learning something new right now. Like, so you mean to tell me that there is no such thing as full coverage?
There's no such thing as full coverage.
That's a myth.
It's a myth. Because this is why. Because in Texas, and I'll give you another example in California.
Let's say Texas.
Let's say Texas. The minimum limits are $25,000 in property damage, and for injuries to others, $30,000. You hit somebody, you kill somebody, and they sue you for $500,000. Your insurance will pay $30,000. They're gonna get the rest somehow, some way. 25,000 is property damage minimum, right, in Texas. You hit, a $40,000 car. It's your fault. You total it. Your insurance covers $25,000. You got to cover $15,000 somehow, some way, and it'll come out of your check somehow. It'll get paid.
I'm still stuck on this full coverage, comprehensive coverage. I was always told that if you finance a vehicle, that it had to have full coverage. But you're telling me that by law, all it needs is the minimum coverage?
Yeah. By law, it needs a comp and collision. Now, the bank requires, by law, it needs liability. You have to have liability by law. But the bank requires comprehensive and collision. That's it. Comprehensive and collision. They could care less if you have liability. Some banks will just put comp and collision for you. They'll force place it. So say you let your
like if
go.
you're doing and they add it to your to your
you let
thing,
it go,
right?
you stop paying, and then they find out. Then they'll put comp and collision on your vehicle. That way, the car is covered, but they don't care if you about your liability. But now the law does.
If you kill somebody, they ain't covering none of that, or not.
Covering none of that, no.
Bro, I'm still in shock.
Yeah.
So that's freaking crazy, dude. So there's no such thing as full coverage.
And where I was always taught, at the cubicle place, don't say full coverage, because if you tell somebody you're fully covered, you're full coverage, you go out and hit somebody. I mean, people are going to think
I'm good.
I'm covered. I don't matter what I hit. I can hit a Lamborghini. I'm fully covered.
So you hit a Tesla, that's 90 grand.
You hit a Tesla, and you're about quarter-way covered.
Dang, that's crazy. That's freaking nuts, bro.
Covered. There's no such thing. But it's a term everybody uses because they usually say, "Well, I want full coverage or I want liability." It's just a term everybody uses.
That's Steve, what is the and we're still on car insurance. What is the what's the take on like female, male ages? Growing up, are those men? I mean, because now you have my light bulb on, right? Because now there's no such thing as full coverage. The old young or young drivers, unexperienced drivers, female, male. Is that true? Is the rates different for male and female? Because if so, I'm going to take it to the new party that we have in Washington D.C. and be like, hey, this is not right. This is being sexist if
There
it
you
was
go.
more than
There you
the
go.
other.
It's definitely true. You can rate a male and female same age, same driving record, same insurance score, which is part of the credit part of it. Female's going to get a lower rate.
Always.
Now, as far as the age goes,
But what if I'm a male and I consider myself a female?
So you're going to be rated on whatever's on your license most of the time.
I'm just going off the world that we live in, right? The world that we live in is like, hey, you can't tell. If I want to be a girl, I can be a girl, bro. And then you can't tell me. Farmers can't tell me that I can't be a girl.
Yeah, because the system will change it, because it recognizes the license driving
Right.
license. So the computer's automatically going to change it to whatever's on your license. So if you can convince them to change it on your license, then I'm sure.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
So break it down. What's pricier and what's not? A young female will be so. When does insurance insurance really like change? Like
you'll see it change. Usually between the ages for a male, usually between ages 25 to 40 to 45. It'll start going down. The way
so 25 to 45 is going to be
it's like this. So it's like this. It goes down and then it goes back up. For any age you are, because you're 16, 17. You're way up here, right?
right.
And you start getting 21, 22, and it's starting to go down a little bit, and then it kind of peaks at that that low level about 30 to 40 years old, 45 and 50, and then 60, and then 70, and then 80, and then
because older people can't drive that well either. So okay, so let me get this right.
I love my older people.
Yeah. So a young 18-year-old boy is going to be way more expensive than an 18-year-old female,
Right.
even if they both been driving the exact same.
And it's the reason is because males are they take chances, a little bit more chances than females most of the time.
I don't know, bro. Nowadays,
well, when you were 18,
nowadays, I think girls are just as bad as boys when it comes to stuff like that, man. I think the insurance people need to take a look at that and kind of even the playing field. Hey, if we're gonna be equal and everything, let's be equal for real and everything. Nah, I'm just playing. I mean, you got to look at it as a business, right? I mean, that's a risk. That's kind of
insurance is a risk, so it's all about an underwriting risk, So,
Steve, if do cars make a difference? Like, do certain cars make like if I drive a Corvette versus I drive a Toyota, what do you call those little cars? The little ones of the. No, the other one's the Prius. If I drive a Prius or a Corvette, the Prius is of course going to be a lot cheaper than the Corvette.
Right, no doubt. It's you look at all the cars nowadays. They got the rear view cameras. They got the big navigation. They put all this money into these cars, and when they're totaled or when they're wrecked and they want to get repaired, it costs a lot more money nowadays.
I sometimes it aggravates me if you think about how much you pay for car insurance. Like, say you pay for car insurance, for example, you pay for car insurance for 20 years. You get your first car when you're 20 years old. You get your own car. You get your own insurance. And you don't have an accident. You're 40 years old, right? If you were to add up all the money that you paid in insurance, it's quite a big number.
Yeah.
It's quite a big number. And then, the minute you get hit or something, it's like, what do you mean? I've been paying all this money all the time, and you just got to pay the deductible and all this other stuff. And that's another thing, Steve. I don't really think that the people really understand deductibles and stuff like that. Like, again, I think really people just look like, whatever you just said, but whichever one's going to make the number of my monthly rate go down, that's the one I want to do. And it sounds good at the time. It sounds great at the time. But the problem is that when something does happen and you have to pay that $1,000 versus 500 or shit. Now they even got them at 250, right?
It go down to 250. You go up to 2,500. I've seen $2,500 deductibles on car insurance. I'm like, man, that's a lot of
$2,500.
It's gonna make your rate cheap, but then what if you had to use it?
You gotta pay. You gotta pay out of your pocket. Oh damn, man. So a deductible, right, is just the money that you're gonna have to fork over in case of an accident. I think the average probably was about $500.
Yeah,
that's kind of what people say, $500.
Yeah.
You know, I remember living in Florida, bro. I remember living in Florida, and for some reason, some states, their insurance is different with the windshields, right? In Florida, if a rock hits your windshield or it gets bigger than what do you call it? Your insurance changes your windshield for free. Like it doesn't affect your rates. It's like it's part of your insurance. Like, hey, if you hit a rock, you go. So the insurance, the companies that do windshields, they fight tooth and nail to get, because it happens every day, right?
Happens every day.
And people getting cracks and stuff on the windshield. So what they'll do is like, hey, if you come to us to change out your windshield, we're gonna give you a box of steaks. Or we're gonna, you laugh, but I'm serious, bro. I remember watching the TV like, yo, this is crazy. So when I finally realized that's why, because they're not having to pay a deductible. There's no deductible. You just go to the company they tell you to take it to, and they switch out the windshield for you, right? So the insurance company's like, hey, we're covered by all insurance companies. If you come to us, we change out your windshield, we're going to give you a box of steaks. But shit, you can't go wrong and get a free windshield and a box of steaks. Yeah. But Texas is not.
No, well, it depends on who you have. You know, I think with farmers, you can do like a glass buyback. You know, pay like $100 for a windshield, which is better than $300 or $400. But the little cracks, as long as it doesn't spread, usually those get taken care of. You know, because as long as it doesn't spread, because once it spreads, you can't.
Yeah,
fix
you can't fix it. Yeah, true. Steve, the car insurance business, though, for me, sometimes it's really tricky, dude. It really is. Like when you were talking about comprehensive, what's the other big word you're using? Collision. Like when people do this, like, hey, sir, you're gonna have this much and whatever. Even me being more vigilant, more open minded to, hey, you really got to pay attention to these things. Yeah. Like even me sometimes it's like, okay, whatever. Just what am I gonna pay a month?
Exactly.
When I know those things are important, but it's kind of just like sometimes it's just so much, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Right. So if you can just elaborate a little bit on what those things are for the viewers or somebody who's going to watch later on, and get a little knowledge on what comprehensive is, what collision is.
It's funny you say that. You know, I think 95% of the people I talk to, I ask them, what coverage do you have? 95% of them say, I have no idea. I have no idea what I have. I just know I have insurance, and it's full coverage, or it's just liability. You know,
right?
They have no clue what their limits, what their deductibles. Oh yeah, I have towing and rental. And sometimes I'll see their policy and I'll say, oh, you don't have towing and rental. Did they tell you? Yeah, they told me I had towing and rental. Oh, you don't have that. You know, it's just, I can see it. You don't have that coverage. You just have this. You know. Mm-hmm. So, what I do and what I teach my team to do is educate them, everybody who's willing to hear what they're covered for, what this means. Bodily injury. If you hit somebody and they get hurt or killed, it's going to cover that person. Property damage. If you hit somebody's vehicle, somebody's property,
their fence or something,
up to the limit. And then you have uninsured and underinsured. Somebody hits you with no insurance or hit and run. 25 to 30% of the state doesn't have insurance. A lot of people don't have insurance. They have to drive from point A to point B. They can't. There's some people that just can't afford. They're going to put food on the table before they, pay for their insurance. It's just the way it is. A lot of people are in that situation, unfortunately. But
it's true though.
It's true, and some people they think they have insurance or think that's coming out of their account, and all of a sudden they get a call or a letter in the mail and say, "Hey, we haven't gotten a payment in 3 months. You've been driving with no insurance for the last 3 months," and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even know."
And it like you can get away with it. You can get away without driving, but the second you hit somebody, what are you going to do? Like you're going to be held responsible for every single penny of damage that you did, especially if it's your fault, right? If it's your car and you get hit, it's their fault. Well, then, hey, maybe you just go get another car. But I think I'm at a point in my life where, in the accidents that my kids have had, or somebody broken into our vehicle or whatever, I've only actually been with two different agencies. They're probably the top two biggest ones. One's, of course, locally based here out of San Antonio, the four letters. And I can tell you this, like every year it would either stay the same or go up, and we didn't have any accidents. So that's kind of why I left them one point in time. But I also see why it costs that much. Yeah. Because I can tell you this, like you call them and you're in an accident, the peace of mind that you have, to me, was worth the money. Right. The peace of mind that I can call somebody and be like, hey, are you okay? Is your car off the road? Is it safe? Do we need somebody to go and pick you up? Where are you located? We have a tow truck on the way. Don't worry. As long as you're physically okay, you can talk to us. Not call us back. We're going to take care of this. And that peace of mind, not carrying, okay, like you're not worrying about where your car is going. They're taking care of that, right? They're towing it away. They're going to send an adjuster out. They're going to do all these things. And all you have to do is they'll pick you up. They'll even go and pick you up from the scene, take you where you need to get to. And then the next day, the rent-a-car people will come to your house with your rent-a-car and pick you up and take you back, and you fill the paperwork over there. And then you have your car until it gets fixed. I've had that situation. I've had where the car's totaled, and I had no care in the world. Like, hey, we got this. We're going to take care of the bank, whatever, blah, 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 blah. The peace of mind is what you pay for. Right.
Peace of mind, that's what you pay for.
I think the viewers and people really need to understand when it comes to insurance, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the peace of mind that everything is going to be taken care of, and nothing's going to be, like you just said, when you thought that you had something, for instance, just the rent-a-car reimbursement is one that always gets looked over, and the towing.
Yeah, always gets looked over.
Right, it always gets looked over, right? Or how much more? It's going to be $15 extra a month. Nah, just take it off. I don't want that. But the minute you need it, you're like, God damn it! Now you got to pay, $150, $200 to get your car towed somewhere. And then if it's towed somewhere, you'll have to pay them for as long as you leave it there until it gets taken to whatever shop you decide. So these are like the things that we don't really look at. And that's why I'm kind of glad you're here, Steve, because you can kind of clear these things up. I think that we're paying for a peace of mind.
Exactly. Peace of mind.
I mean, you if I go to you and you give me something and let me ask you this. Would you give me something that you wouldn't feel comfortable?
Oh, not at all. I mean, I would. This is my approach on everybody I talk to. If I see you have one car, it's you have one car. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, this is going to come with rental car coverage and towing. This quote is going to come with it. I don't normally give that particular person the option unless they
know already, like, hey, this is what I want. That's it.
Yeah, but that's usually. But now, if I see someone got 4 or 5 cars, I'll be like, oh, it's not a real big deal for rental. They have 4 cars, 1 driver, they can drive one.
Save your money there, right?
Every one of my customers get Roadside. I give it to every single one. Everybody gets it. It's $1. That's $1 a month. If you got paid for $1 a month for roadside service, and I don't know.
Hey,
it's only $1,
dude. But I know some people, and I'm not gonna mention no names, but I know some people that are such penny pinchers. They'll be like, "What? No, hell no. That $1, take that off, man. I'm not paying that $1." So what does roadside coverage cover?
It's gonna cover, like most companies, and Farmers is one of them. We actually will go out to any kind of roadside services needed. If you lock the keys in the car, run out of gas, get a flat tire, need a jump start or a boost.
So a flat tire, they'll come out and fix your tire for you?
Yeah, that's right. Now, Farmers do that. Now, other companies, because there's a few companies I represent that will actually do a reimbursement. So you pay, and then they'll get your receipt, send it in, they give you money.
They give you money back. Hey, so that means if you need new tires and you run over to stay, try to get a new tire. You know, I use AAA for just for towing. That's cool. You know what I mean?
AAA, that's even better.
Yeah. But $1, bro. I mean, you can't beat that. Does it cover if you run out of gas?
Run out of gas, it'll bring you a couple of gallons of gas, right?
Just to get you to the gas station. I might try that one day when I'm broke. Just be like, hey man, I just gonna run out of gas. Hey, bro, I ran out of gas in my driveway. I have no gas. No. You know, roadside, like you said, it's a peace of mind.
It's a peace of mind. So in case something happens on the road, highway, you don't want to be on 410, 35, or even any major highway trying to change out a tire.
Bro, well, what if you're in the middle between San Antonio and El Paso on the 10 in the desert, bro?
There's usually a limit, so whatever.
There's the truth comes out.
See, that's why I said full coverage is not.
So the dollar's not going to cover if I'm in between San Antonio and Paso. Is that what you're telling me?
So it'll cover up to that, whatever that limit is, and that's true with most any company. They're going to have a limit. 15, some companies will have a mileage. 15
miles. That's it.
Yeah, some companies will have a mileage.
Oh shit, man. So hey, if those of you that live in Fort Stockton, Ozona, any of those places,
get AAA. Get AAA.
Get AAA, right? Steve, so that's a little on car insurance, right? You know, I mean, again, our people really are out there just looking for a sheet of paper to stick in their car that when the cops pull them over, you can be like, yeah, I'm insured. But cheap is cool. But you're gonna see really how cool it is when something happens, and it's gonna be like a lesson learned, right? You're gonna learn the hard way, really, really quick.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is to give my boy a call, man. I'm gonna put it up here a few times, but let me take this one off here. If you guys are happy with your insurance company right now, you've been with them for years and years and years. I'm here to tell you, sometimes that's not a good thing. Because you just get comfy. It's just you get comfy and like, I'm not gonna worry about it, right? Sometimes it's good to go out there and look around. You might, it's like the commercials. You might be saving some money somewhere, by hitting up some other people. So that's my buddy's phone number right there, Steve Gonzales, 210-625-8797. Give him a call for any car insurance needs, you need any insurance needs. He'd be glad, him or one of his employees will be glad to sit down and talk to you guys and explain what you got. It's always good if you have your policy in front of you, I would say. So when they do ask you, hey, what are your coverages? Because sometimes this is what happens. You call them and they'll give you a price, and then you're like, whoa, hell no, I'm not going to go with y'all. That's way too much. Like you're more, I thought you were going to help me, but you don't have your coverages in front of you, and they're going off of very good coverage when you probably have shitty coverage. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compare apples to oranges if you don't have, apples and apples to look at. So take that in consideration. Like if you have access to your insurance your insurance policy, have that in front of you. So when they ask you these questions, they can actually compare what you're paying now, what you're paying for. So they can, compare apples to apples. Would you say that's?
I'd say that's pretty fair. Like I said, I could actually see with the coverage. I asked,
so you can. So now you're able to see. You don't even need them.
Coverage. I can see all the coverage, but I usually ask them just to see
if they know what they're getting themselves into.
But they know.
So again, if you need some car insurance, life insurance. There's the number we're going to keep on. We're not done. We're definitely not done with the show. I want to get into life insurance. That's my hitting point tonight is life insurance, huge. Because I was a huge naysayer. I was a huge person to I'll make some I'll make some chicken. What I say, leg quarters, rice and beans, and we'll raise some money and get the rest together, and we'll get it going. But I mean, honestly, why would you want to leave? Oh, okay, I'm going to talk in a parent way, right? I wouldn't want to leave that for my kids. I wouldn't want my kids to have to struggle or break into their savings that they've been busting their ass for, or break into their kids' and break into my grandkids' college funds or anything like that to bury their mom and dad. Like that's not their job. That's not to me. Again, I'm speaking personally, right? You may have your own beliefs, and I'm not here to knock anybody's beliefs, but I definitely don't want to leave that for my children to have to bear, and that's kind of why I left it for last. Life insurance. I remember growing up, Steve, back in the day before internet. It was the guy that walked our neighborhood with a black suit on, white shirt, black tie, and he didn't drive a bike. He wasn't a Mormon. It's like, cause only the Mormons would come by with the bikes and the white shirts and the ties, right? But I can remember. I don't remember the man's name, but there in Beeville, where I grew up, he used to come and he'd have a briefcase, and I remember he'd put the briefcase down, open it up, and he'd bring out all kinds of forms and shit, and there'd be my mom and dad looking, and I just like, okay, that's adult shit. I'm not gonna get into it. But I vividly remember that, and it was about insurance, right? About life insurance or whatever. And I think what always boggled my mind about life insurance is that you can have life insurance on somebody that you get the money when somebody dies, right? Is that right? Am I saying that right?
You're 100%. I mean, finance is called financial interest. I have a financial interest in.
So if my dad, rest in peace, right? If I wanted to have if my dad was alive and I wanted to have an insurance on my father, I paid whatever the rate is a month, right?
Right.
When he passed away, that insurance, it would be between me and the insurance company, right?
Right.
So what's the limit on that? Like, what's the limit on you being able to have insurance on somebody?
Your pocketbook, whatever your pocketbook can put out.
So you can have insurance on anybody you want.
Not anybody.
See, that's kind of where I want to go with it.
It's got to be a financial type of interest. For example, a relative. Somebody who's related to you, whether it's a uncle, aunt, nephew. I mean, if they're related to you, then you might have some kind of financial interest in that person, possibly. If you're supporting them.
Got you.
Of course, kids, parents. That's a no-brainer. You could. That's for sure. Now you can't buy life insurance on probably somebody across the street that's your neighbor or
Yo, Steve. Hey, Steve's not feeling well, bro. Hey, I need a policy on my boy Steve. That's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm asking.
You can't go. I think it was something happened in California. There were companies buying, or insurance agents buying, or people buying life policies for homeless people. So eventually, the scandal ended up being busted,
but not before some people got paid. I guarantee you that.
Not.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so like, again, I not to burden my family with my death, right? I want to give them the peace of mind that if something happens to me, their life's going to go on. But sometimes when you talk to people that deal with death, family members and stuff, insurance can get kind of, it can be an ugly thing, Steve, in a family. Honestly, it really can. Especially if you don't know who the money's going to be left to, or and another one that I'll talk about is I don't think it's possible, but if possible, it's like taking a blank check to a funeral home when they know you have life insurance. That's the way I saw it. All 3 times that I've dealt with death, where I was personally inside there making decisions, that's the way I felt. Do you have insurance? Yeah, I got insurance. Okay, well, you have the policy. Do you have the, what do you call it? And the minute, to me, that's the way I saw it. The minute they saw the amount, their attitude almost changes. Like, oh, okay, well, now you can get this and this and this and this and this and this. It's covered. Don't worry about it. I got you. We're gonna make it. You know what I mean? And I know you dealt with the death of your father and your mom.
Right.
Your mom more recently. Did you see it that way? Maybe.
Oh man, I saw it. I saw it firsthand early. Especially when I was a teenager. Because my dad died when I was 21. He didn't have life insurance. He had none. The only way we were able to do anything is he had a little bit from the VA, and then you get a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he had a little bit at work, very very little bit at work. Just enough to
bury him,
to have a funeral and bury him. But there wasn't nothing after. Once that was done, there wasn't nothing.
Like nobody stayed with anything.
Nobody stayed with anything.
And I don't think really insurance is for that, right? It's not for an inheritance. Like, hey, if I die, you're gonna get. I mean, you could use it for that in a sense, but
this is I was 20, 21. I was already an adult, but my brother, he was barely 10 years old. He was a young boy.
Shout out to Andrew.
So my mom had to be able to support him, and when she loses that income, that breadwinner. How is she gonna support the kids?
Social Security.
There you go. Social Security. But I mean, that's what people think. Social Security. I got Social Security.
Yeah. No. I get it, but I'm just saying, so if you were somebody who was really smart, and you had multiple insurance, because you can have multiple different insurance, right?
There's no limit.
There's
except the pocketbook. That's the only limit. Whatever you can.
So if I got what's a typical a healthy person in America right now? A $200,000 policy is going to cost them average about what?
Depends on the age. If let's say you're 25 years old, 25 young guy, and just barely starting a family. You just got married, you're about to have a baby. What happens? You buy a house. Usually, you buy a mortgage. You're in a mortgage. You might buy a car or two. So that you're already $200,000 or $300,000 in debt.
Yep.
Let's say you got a good job. As a 25-year-old, you got a good job making $40,000-$50,000 a year. You probably need more than $250,000. But if that's with the you're set on $250, you're only looking at about $18-$19 a month, and that's for the term. That's for the term because. So when
you say term, that's like from start. If you started with us now until you die, you pay.
No, that's for the term for a certain amount of years. For example, 10, 20, and 30 are usually the most common terms that they're out there that we offer. So if I was helping somebody, I would ask them, do you have a mortgage? Do you have wife, kids? I'd get to know them before I say, here's your price. Right. I get a needs analysis. Ask them what what their situation is. And for that particular situation, I would say, okay, this is what you need. You need a 30-year term because if something happens to you, the mortgage will be paid off, the cars will be paid off, your wife will have a little bit of money.
Before I forget, I'm gonna stop you right there. Isn't there some insurance like when you do a mortgage? And correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say back in the day, I've read or I know that there was insurance like if something happens to the other half, there's an insurance built in that
pays the mortgage off.
Pays the mortgage off.
Right. They usually, right when you buy the home, you'll get those offers.
Right.
The companies know when you buy a home. It's out there, public record. So you'll get people calling you, hey, maybe send you something in the mail. The difference, though, is let's say you bought a home for $180,000, right? Mm-hmm. Then that's what the policy covers, $180,000. Let's say you live there for 10 years, now you owe $150,000. Now the policy covers $150,000.
Now you're not. It's not like you're gonna get the $180,000 and keep the rest. I got you.
The price doesn't change though, but you're still paying the same.
You're still paying the same price. I got you. So I think that it's important. If you're a viewer and you're a parent, right, or you're married, and even if you're single, like if you don't have life insurance, I really think that you need to evaluate yourself. And maybe put that in your future for something for you to look at because it's definitely something that you need. We spend money on the stupidest shit throughout the month, right? I mean, a Red Bull 12 ounce costs $2.50. Don't ask me how I know, but they're usually 2 for $5. If you buy it by itself, shit, they're even at $3.49 sometimes, right? You buy one of those a day, I mean, you're paying over $100 a month on just drinks. But yet, when somebody tells you, "Hey, man, can you pay $21, $19 for some insurance in case something happens to you?" We're like, "Whoa, what? You want how much?" That's how people are.
Yeah, it's the way I see it. People will insure their cars because they have to. They'll insure their house usually because they have to. There's a mortgage. They'll insure their cell phone. They'll insure their cell phone for $15 a month.
Steve, hold on. Steve, you just hit it right on the freaking knot. If there's any way to get to young viewers out there, check that out. Pick up your damn cell phone right here. Right? Here's our cell phones. He's absolutely correct. If you have my T-Mobile voice, if you have a tier 1 phone, which probably 95% of you do, if you have an Android with cameras in the back or anything with an Apple in the back, you have a tier 1 phone. The cheapest I've seen is like $15, and it's not even $15 anymore. Like a tier 1 phone at minimum is probably like $18 to $21. The same amount. The same amount of money we pay for our cell phone to be insured, but yet we won't spend the same amount of money to keep ourselves insured to help our family if something happens.
It's amazing, right? It's just such, I don't even understand it. And I know you probably help people with their cell phone insurance. You probably try to.
I sell it. I sell like I would give them the look like, "Yo, wait a minute. You're gonna buy a phone that costs $1,300 right now, but you don't want insurance, sir? Let me tell you. If you're to walk out here right now and you break that screen, guess how much that screen is going to cost you? At minimum, it's going to cost you $225 because it's a brand new phone, right? It's a brand new phone.
It's the latest edition,
right? Latest edition. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, go put that on there, bro. I'll pay it. I got it. Don't worry about it." But we won't do that with our own selves, with our own body. That's crazy. We got a comment. Car insurance, $900 a month. Aflac, 401k, disability, life insurance, and health insurance. Rather pay for it, not need it, than have it and not need it.
There you go. That's smart, man. Or woman.
Dude, let me tell you. And Joey's a young guy, bro. Like he's a very smart adult. This is not the first time he's come on the show and come up with these comments. He's got like a mind of like a 50-year-old, and he's trapped in a 20-year-old's body. So Joey, great way of thinking. Mijo, keep thinking that way. You're speaking 401k and stuff, and again, that's for another show. But you definitely got your mind where it needs to be, Mil. That's good. Way to.
And it's when I was thought, in schools, high school, and even college, they don't teach nothing about nobody.
No, they don't.
They don't teach anything.
These are life skills that are not taught.
Life skills that are not taught. Exactly.
Period. Point blank. Life skills that are not taught. They're not taught. I can't say that because I've been out of high school for a long time, right? But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, your kids were in high school not that long ago.
If the people that are watching, if you do know, I don't know. If my kids are watching, do they teach you guys about credit cards, credit, insurance? Do they touch on any of those things? Retirements? I don't think they do. I honestly, I don't think they do. But dude, I can't believe you like that is on point what you said about the phones. We will insure our cell phones before we insure ourselves.
It's amazing. Yeah.
For the same price. No. Our life is cheaper. So your phone is worth more than your life.
Oh wow.
That's what if by not getting insurance, that's what you think. You know what I mean? By not getting insurance, I mean that's how you're seeing life. Because again, when I would sell phone, man, it'd be like, bro, you really gonna walk out of here with that? You know what I mean? And I seen it. I sold the dude. It was like a $1,400 or $1,300, the highest Android phone, whatever it was. He walked out. He went to the bank. Right. He's like, I don't need insurance. I'm paying cash. I don't need okay, baller. You cool? All right, man. Here you go. Here's your phone set up. Good to go. That man left and went to the Bank of America, which I could see within eye distance, and he had a lifted pickup truck. So he must have had his phone on his lap. He literally opened the door, got out, and I could see him just going like, dang, dude, what the heck, you know? And he came back in. He's like, hey, bros. I said, bro, you can't get insurance now. You done broke the damn phone. So he ended up having to get another line and get another special and get the deal at a discount rate. So he was paying for 2 phones, but really only had
it happens with life all the time.
You only get one life, though, bro. You can't.
It happens. You can't go back and try to get the life insurance.
So Steve, if I become gravely ill, how hard is it for a family member to get insurance?
So we have a policy that it's called a graded whole life. It's permanent. It's guaranteed. There's only 3 health questions, and they're not even health questions. One of them, the questions: are you on your deathbed? Have you been told by a doctor that you're about to die in the next, I think it's like 6 months to a year, I can't remember. And then, are you
Are you terminally ill?
So there's only 3 questions, and basically those are guaranteed. You can have illnesses, cancer, heart problems, diabetes, and you'll get coverage. You don't only turn down usually for that particular.
But it's going to cost.
It's going to cost. I've seen the ones I've done and seen. I think I did she was 79. Now, usually about 80 years old, I mean, nobody will cover you. Some companies will do it, but usually 80 is the kind of.
So that's what I'm asking. So once you get higher than 80, nobody's going to give you coverage.
It's hard to get it. I mean, it's 1 out of 10 maybe companies out there.
You have to show that you finished the Boston Marathon and all that.
You have to show you're going to be able to live a little longer.
Yeah.
But I did one for a 79-year-old female. She had cardiovascular stuff. She had lots of issues. I think it came out to like $150, $160 a month. And it was decent. The son bought it for the mom. And so he made a wise decision, because she didn't have anything. I think it was going to be like $15,000, $20,000. She didn't have anything. So now,
but how much was that coverage though?
I think it was like $15,000. So it's going to cover a funeral. Now, the way I approach that.
So you're not going to get like no $100,000. They're not going to give you like, hey
the
man,
most you can get is like 35,
you know that it's coming and it's knocking on the door. Like, I mean, you're not going to make out now.
It's like final expense. What they call it, companies call it final expenses. It's final. You want to have a good funeral and.
Whatever last minute bills that are not going to be covered by death.
Right. Right. Now, if you're in a group, let's say you have a lot of brothers and sisters, like this situation, he had a bunch of brothers and sisters. He was the one who was getting the policy, taking care of it. He's a beneficiary. He's the one paying for it. He's a beneficiary, which means he gets the funds. So when that time comes, when everybody's having to do chip in their funds to
he's chipping in his part and keeping his part from over here. I mean, it doesn't sound very family-ish, right? But I mean, it's real, right? It's realistic. I mean, that's what's going to happen. I think I freaked out when you were doing our kids and the kids had to go get a physical, or
I think I came and interviewed them.
Like Steve came in here and he used our office and he interviewed all of them and they walked out like, yo. I mean, are we interviewing for a job or what the hell's going on here, right? But it was for insurance, and I think that my wife got it right.
We got all the children covered, and they're all they have I think I did them all whole life. They all got permanent insurance until none of them are on term. They may be on term. I have to look, but they're all very affordable. I think the youngest was Lena. Lena is 20, 21.
Down to 21, yeah.
I think it was like $14.
I mean, dude, that's nothing. It's not. I mean, I say it's nothing, but I'm not one to talk. I mean, $14 for somebody could be. Yeah, it could be a lot. And I get that. Like, I understand that there's people on fixed incomes or they're working 2 or 3 jobs and every little penny counts. Like, I understand that. I get that. But at the same time, I see everybody walking around with one of these, and I don't see nobody walking around with old phones, except my boy Tigo in Florida. He still got an iPhone 5. But that's, but it is. I mean, if we just, I hate going back to phones, but that's the easiest way to, because we spend money on that every single month, but we won't take care of ourselves and insure ourselves. That's something that we just don't do. Steve, what do you think that if you had to talk to people, to the viewers that are watching, right, and the people who are going to watch later on, what do you think about what would you, don't be a salesman, but what would you like for them to know about insurance as a whole, taking farmers off your chest, right, and just being Steve Gonzales. Insurance is what I do for a living, right? What message would you want them to know in general? That covers all of it.
You know, I would say, you know, you can talk to somebody in a call center. You could talk to somebody in another state. You could talk to somebody in another town who's in a call center, who's working in a corporate, you know, for corporate, and they're in a call center, you know, taking calls, they're talking. And I was in that position. I did it for a long time, and most of the time I would talk to them, but I would usually never talk to them again after that. You know, never had a conversation, never built a relationship. You know, since I've opened up the agency, I've actually got to know people, got to know who they are, got to know their life, you know, got to know more about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would say, you know, find, you know, go to those sources, you know, find your local, support your local agents and your local businesses, you know, because they're the ones who you're going to be able to build, you know, connection with, the relationship with, and they're going to look out for you, you know, 100% of the time. When you call somebody in a call center or in a you know, big building, you know, that's in another country or another state, you know, they're not looking to.
I hate talking. No offense, but I hate when they do that. You're that big of a company, and you're gonna send my phone call halfway around the world, and then they pick up. And no offense, they know English, but sometimes the accents are so bad that you just get frustrated because you don't understand what they're saying. They're not understanding you, and you kind of just go in a circle. I think you're right. Like, I think being able to go and open a door to somewhere, have a seat, and actually get to talk to you, or even call you. I mean, they can see you here, right? Again, if you're watching and you're just dude, just call and I mean, it doesn't hurt to call. Call Steve. Call one of his agents there at his agency. They'll pick up the phone and let them know what you're looking at getting, right? If you're watching this show and like, you know what, Bumper's right, man, we should have some kind of life insurance. Again, we pay more for these damn phones for insurance than we'll do for our own bodies, for our own families. Is just unbelievable. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah, that's where we live in.
That is definitely the world we live in. Steve, insurance as a whole, for some people they think it's like a scam. Right? Like people are scamming money for, like, why do I got to pay this, right? Could you break that down for me, dummy terms? Like, why do we have to pay for insurance? And life insurance, I kind of get. Car insurance, I get. I understand the concept, but why? Why do we need insurance?
It's you said it, I don't know how many times. It's that peace of mind. It's the peace of mind. If you're liable for something, for causing an injury, causing property damage, I mean, if you accidentally hit somebody, if you accidentally say something about somebody, if you say something about somebody and that offends them, you know, slander. That's slander. They can sue you. It's a sue happy. We're in a sue happy world. I mean, everybody sues.
Yo, somebody could sue me on me saying something on here.
If you say something on here that offends somebody, that you know, that they take it to heart and they feel it, that they can come back and sue you. So,
Call my boy Steve at 210-625-8797.
So it's liability. It's all about liability. It's peace of mind of having liability. And it don't matter what insurance, if homeowners insurance, somebody comes and slips and falls and, they hold you liable, they sue you. If you're a contractor, if you're a business and any business, if you don't do a good job, they can sue you for the poor work. Yeah. Slander, all that.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. I never really, I never thought about it like that, So to the viewers, man, if you've never thought about insurance, and of course, Steve's on the show. I'm promoting Steve. I got other friends that sell insurance. They sell, all kinds of insurance, right? And I'm not saying any other companies are bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I really enjoy working with Steve, and just him being very personal. One, because I know him, but just the fact, the way it is, like you get to see the guy. You're seeing him here. Call him. The dude is very down to earth. He will help anybody out however he can. If y'all know my mom, my mom, I think my mom's called and got a quote from you.
She's one of my customers.
Yeah, so there you go. So, my mom, shout out to my mom in Beeville. My mom lives in Beeville. She lives over 100 miles away, but she's been here to party. She's met Steve quite a few times. So, she called and said, hey, I need this, and Steve made it happen. Boom, she's insured. My brother sells cars. I've been trying to get him to send a few customers to my buddy Steve. So if I have any of my friends that are out there right now that sell cars, I know I got some primos, some of my primos de Aguirres. They sell cars all throughout South Texas, Corpus Christi area, majority. Hey man, if you guys have somebody who, first time buyer looking for car insurance, refer back to the show. The number's on there, man. Steve Gonzales, 210-625-8797. Farmers Insurance. I promise you he's going to take care of you, man. If he doesn't, you call me, and then I'll go across the street, knock on the door like, Steve, what the hell's going on, man?
Yeah, I can do the entire state of Texas, so there's no limit.
Steve, if there's anything that we haven't covered as far as a sense, or you know what, what I want to do, I'd like to give you the floor for a minute or 2 minutes, however long it's going to take, and just reach out to the viewers and let them know, what to expect from you if you end up, they end up being one of your customers, you know what I mean, or what.
So I mean, they're when they call me, when they deal with me, they're gonna get somebody who wants to help them. I'm not trying to sell them or push them on anything. I want to help them. I want to help them understand what they're covered for. And if I can save them money, then that's even better, because it's a win-win. You're learning and you're getting to save money. I teach my team to educate. I have a solid team. That they're all with me, and they love to help. They love to learn and do insurance. So you're going to get personable. Someone who's going to be there. We try to when everybody says, when do you close? I don't close. You call me at 7, 8 at night, I'll open. As long as I'm awake, I'm going to try to answer the phone. I've had people call me on Saturday night. Saturday night they call me and, to put a claim in. I picked it up and I told her what to do. And so, I'm always going to be there to try to help, no matter the time of day, Saturday, Sunday. If I'm not asleep or, occupied, then I'm going to do my best to try to, help.
You ain't getting that. You ain't getting that from other companies. That's for sure, man.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So again, before we go out, right? Farmers Insurance, Steve Gonzales, right here in Converse, Texas. And even though you're not in the San Antonio area, that doesn't matter. He can help you. You can help anybody anywhere in the United States, or only they got to be in Texas.
Yeah, so
okay, so to my viewers, only in the state of Texas, he can help you. Again, Farmers Insurance, Steve Gonzales, 210-625-8797. That's 210-625-8797. Give my boy Steve a call, and he will take care of you for sure. Steve, we come to the time, bro. It actually went by quick.
It's already over?
Dude, we're already almost at 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it goes by super quick. Is there anything that you wanna put out there? You know, anything we forgot? Anything maybe you wanna push the like people's like, hey, can I use your address to get insurance? Because the guy we're talking about, Joey, he actually lives in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he lives in Florida. So
Yeah, that's Florida.
there you just lost a customer, Steve. Gosh darn it, boy. Yeah, is there anything you know? I know what you said about your business, but is there anything you want to say? You want to give any shout outs?
I mean, I want to talk. I want to let my team know that that I appreciate them. I have Monica, my wife. She's part of the team. She helps me every day. She's answering the phone. She's giving quotes. She's calling people back and helping them. She is she provides excellent service. So if you're not talking to me, you're talking to Monica.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna help you, and she's gonna make sure you get the good deal. She's not.
Miss Monica's nice. She's nice lady.
Yeah, she'll have fun too. She'll talk to you and laugh with you, and and she just enjoys talking to people and helping people.
So y'all are in the office together all day?
Yeah, she's working from home, so she stays at home, and she's been doing homeschool, so she does a lot. She's doing homeschool with the kids, with the children throughout the day, and then she's working with me. So she has a full.
Dang! Shout out, Miss Monica. Dang, that's a lot. You're the teacher.
Teacher.
You're the employee. Gosh darn it!
She's a half boss.
Half.
She does. She helps me with the interviewing and hiring, and we haven't had to fire anybody, so I'm grateful for that. And I have 2 others that are part of my team. Michael Penix. So he's he's part of the team, and he came in. Didn't know nothing about insurance. He didn't know nothing about, insurance in general. I groomed.
So what was his job before?
So he worked at, he did some sales jobs for some different companies. So he's always been like in the sales industry.
But had zero
insurance history. Never did it. So, when he did his deal, and what I do is I do like a personality type of test through my deal, and he came back as someone who's a salesperson. I was like, wow, this is what I want. So he came in as a telemarketer. As soon as he came in as a telemarketer, he was calling people. Our numbers shot. We shot up. We were helping
instantly.
So he went to did the telemarketing for about a month and a half. He started studying for his test because you got to have a license.
You got to be. Yeah.
You got to have a license to be a producer or to sell insurance, right? So he got his license. And now he's, learning it, everything from home, auto. Now he's going to get his life license. So he's getting his life license. He's 27 years old, so he's got to.
He's making decent money.
He's going to, and he's getting better and better and better every day. And so shout out to him, if he's out there listening, I'm going to let him know, I appreciate what he does and hard work. He's a hard worker, smart guy. I also have another, Karen, she's part of the team. She just joined about a month ago. So she's been in insurance for about 8 years. So she's very knowledgeable. She's bilingual, so she knows Spanish. She can talk to anybody in
so todos mis amigos que hablan español pueden llamar a Mr. Steve Gonzales a 210-625-8797 y él te puede ayudar. Con todo que es seguranza. Sí.
There you go. And then we just brought in another one. Alexis, she's never done insurance.
Sometimes that's good though, Steve, because they have no bad habits.
Yeah, I mean they're learning, and I get to teach them. I get to mentor them, and I enjoy it. I enjoy, not only helping people with their policy, but helping, these young
people on me, because one day maybe they're gonna break off from you and start their own agency.
Either that, or they'll be able to put something on their resume that says, "Hey, I worked at an insurance agency for a year or two, and I was able to, start." And the thing about my agency is that, there's 2 ways when you start up an agency. There's 2 ways you do it. You either start from zero, which is a scratch, or you buy a book, right? Some guys, some people will buy books. When they buy books, they already have customers, they already have revenue, right? Well, we started with zero. I had 0 people when I started. My first customer was Tony Romo, not the quarterback, but
Tony Romo. Shout out to Tony Romo. Is he still in Vegas?
he's in Colorado right now.
Oh, in Colorado. Shout out to my boy Tony Romo,
I
man.
don't know if he's out there listening, but he was my first one. The first day he was my first one. Of course, myself and
Yeah.
and then
And that dude has boat. He probably has a motorcycle,
Just bought a
multiple
home.
vehicles, home insurance. That's crazy.
so yeah, I mean, and so that's how we started. Scratch. So when he grows, he gets grows to other doors start to open for him. He's going to be able to say, I helped open up a scratch agency. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. That's got to be a good feeling knowing that you help somebody, especially. I mean, no knock to the lady who's been doing it for a long time, right? But when people don't know and you teach them and you see them thrive, and they're excited about coming to work and making money, it's got to be a great feeling, man. It's got to be a great feeling. Because I remember it being Steve, Monica, and his kids would help him with little admin work that they could, and they were a family fighting hole over there, keeping their head above water. And again, Steve, just watching you pace back and forth, and then our conversations like, hey man, I need this much more to be here. Help me out. And I'm like, I start calling him, hey bro, do you need this? Do you need this? Call my boy right now. And so I was glad to help you in that way, man. But before we get off, I want to thank you, one, for being a brother, two, for always being a great neighbor, bro. You're always been a great neighbor. You're somebody I can count on. You've taken care of my house multiple times, and I've been gone. Just somebody very reliable. And that's why I'm trying to tell the people, like, hey, if you want somebody who's trustworthy, reliable when it comes to any of your insurance needs, Steve is the man, right? Steve and his whole staff is awesome. Steve it's great to see where you're at. I want to say, I'm gonna speak it out there, and maybe you can reiterate it and speak it into existence, as they say. But I think you're gonna grow out of that office that you're in really, really quick. I think so. I think you're gonna grow out of that office, really, really quick, just because of you and Monica's work ethic, and you saying that you're helping these people out and helping them better their careers. I mean, people stay loyal. You know what I mean? When you're somebody like yourself that, you're going out on a limb helping people that know absolutely zero about the business, and you're showing them, you're mentoring them. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, to me, that's worth more than getting paid an extra $3 or $4 an hour. If the employer cares that much about me and is that personable with me, and they really care about me, that means that my loyalty is there. So again, man, I mean, I don't know how you think, but I really think that you're gonna grow out of that office. I mean, that'd be great. It'd be great to see you like stay in Converse and like even a bigger. I walk in and then I'm starting to see cubicles from the front to the back. That would be pretty cool. But Steve, thank you, dude, so much for giving me a few hours of your evening, and being able to come on the show and just kind of spread a little bit of knowledge to people who don't really know about insurance, and to know, like you said, man, I'm so glad you said. I would have never thought about that, but I'm sure you use it every day. I'm sure you use that. I'm sure you use that line every day. That the fact that we'll insure our cell phones before we'll insure our own selves, and sanity for our family. So just take that, let that sit in the back of your head, man. Call somebody. Call my boy Steve if you're here in Texas. Again, he will take care of you. I promise you. So again, Steve, thank you, bro, from the bottom of my heart for coming on here. I look forward to having you on here when you say, Bump, you're right, bro. I'm getting bigger. Come back on and see where you're at, and if you do, hey, there we go. Here we go. I forgot about this part. If you are in the if you're in the whatever the word is, if you're looking to buy new, change your insurance, life insurance, car insurance, you make sure that when you call, you tell them that you saw Bumpers Wacky Wednesday
Right.
and you want to see Steve. Because you know what? For every person that calls and gets a what do you call it from Steve, guess what? He's buying me a bottle of something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't
Really
figured it out, but he's gonna give me something. It might be a 2-liter bottle of Big Red, but hey, I'll take it, bro. Nah, honestly, just let him know. That way he knows that, you know, there's people out there to watch this video. Again, if you watch it later on, it'll be on my YouTube channel. So, you know, if you didn't watch it now, or if you want to come back to it later, and you know how you go through Facebook, sometimes you just can't find that video. Go to my YouTube channel, man. It's right here. Bumper Gomez. Just look it up on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share it. I would greatly appreciate it. If those of you guys are tuning in on Steve's behalf this evening for the first time, again, welcome to Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. I do this every single Wednesday. We talk to anybody and everybody, and I love to talk to people about, one, their profession, their life, and their path in life. And definitely Steve has shared a little bit with you so you can see how personable he is. And hopefully you guys will find it in your heart to actually, you know, give him a call. If you're happy with your car insurance and stuff, cool. But you never know, right? You just give him a call. He could get it cheaper, or it could be the same. But guess what? You're helping a local business out versus helping a big machine out, in a sense. So take it for what it's worth. And also, please look into life insurance, man. Look for life insurance for your kids, for yourself, especially for yourself. You know, for your kids, because you never know, man. He said it earlier. In a split second, you could be rolling down a hill, and you're the best golfer in the world. It just happened yesterday. Tiger Woods just went down a hill, right? Yeah. And he's got a rod, and he barely made it out alive. Like, it could happen to anybody, man. It really can. And I think we look that over in life all the time. But again, Steve, thank you so much, man. To the viewers, thank you guys. Please give my boy Steve a call. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Stay tuned on Sunday or Monday, because we have, in the next couple of weeks, we have some pretty big shows coming your way. Yes, some big shows. Something a little bit different. Some a little wackier than others. But nonetheless, it's Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Bumper.
And you guys keep tuning in. Next Wednesday, 7:30. We'll see you. Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. Mr. Steve Gonzales with Farmers Insurance. And we're out.